So, today we're going to do something a little bit different, but kind of the same. Now, just in case you don't know, you can effectively turn semi-automatic weapons into fully automatic weapons by enabling this option in the accessibility menu. This is really cool, not just as an accessibility feature, but also because it allows you to fire semi-automatic weapons at their maximum fire rate, which is sometimes difficult. So I thought we could give it a shot, but which weapon should we use? Well, I went through the arsenal, and the one I landed on was the Strun Prime. This is a semi-automatic Master Rank 14 shotgun that has an Incarnon mode that also happens to be semi-automatic. It does primarily impact damage with a good amount of slash as well, and then a little sprinkling of puncture on the side. It has decently high fire rate of 3.33, it has high base multi-shot of 12, the reload time is bad, 4.6 seconds, but that's because it loads in one shell at a time, and it has really nice fall-off for a shotgun, 26 to 52 meters. Its secondary stats are very good as well, 24% crit chance, 2.2 times crit multi, and a 6.7% status chance per projectile, which with a base multi shot of 12 is actually very good. So let us see what we can do here, shall we? I don't think I'm gonna change the evolutions. We have the multi-shot one here, that one's nice. We have the reloading one with electricity. I like that one very much. And then for the last one, I think I have the status one because of the reload. Yeah. We could go with the crit one instead, or the hybrid one, but I think going heavy on status is gonna be the way to go here. First things first, some galvanized stuff, hell, savvy. We could go with acceleration as well. It's not necessary, the range on the Strun is quite good. And while we're at it, let's also put in primed ravage. I'm tempted to go with the Cannonade setup, because, well, it's a lot of damage, ton of punch through, and also no ramp up sounds heavenly. Yeah, let's do that. Now, since we're running Cannonade, we can easily go with, where is it? There. Critical deceleration, 72% crit, that's quite good. Toxic barrage, frigid, that's chilling reload, frigid blast, and primed charged shell. Look at that, perfect fit. And since we're running Cannonade, we can easily run Vendetta, which basically fixes the long reload by itself, and we get a ton of extra multi-shot on top. Good stuff. This feels amazing when you can go full auto, essentially. That's nuts. I love this very much. What about the Incarnon mode? Yes, it works. Oh, that's terrific. Also, the damage is just nuts, even with like 0 armor strip. That's ridiculous. I want to see how ridiculous this can get. Let's get Harold up. Did not want to do that. Let's get Arcane Avenger as well. That's going to give us a bunch of extra crit. That is disgusting. Oh, that's disgusting. Utter filth. Utter and absolute filth. Oh, the Incarnon mode. Dude. I want to try a full crit setup as well. Oh, look at that. That is sexy stuff. This feels so good. Oh, I love this gun so very much. There's got to be a state in America where it's illegal to marry a gun. Surely, like Florida or something. Texas, probably Texas. This is the perfect gun for a setup like this, just full auto with the accessibility option and then Cannonade for a ridiculous amount of damage and essentially 0 ramp up. Also, we could swap Harold over to a corrosive and heat setup or a corrosive and cold setup if you want more crit, and then armor strip. Because we're using mainly electricity to do damage, right? And we're not stripping armor at all. This is an absolutely fabulous display of destruction. This build is perfect. Oh, I'm not sure you want some of this, mate. I don't think it's enjoying this one little bit. Holy moly, that's some proper damage. This goes beyond anything I expected from this. I expected kind of like a funky setup, you know, maybe you would play around with the accessibility option, add some fire rates and all that, but this is something else. I'm actually going to use this over my previous Strun Prime setup, which was pretty good, but this one, it's not too dissimilar, but it's better. The Incarnon mode is terrific. You don't have to use it. The non-Incarnon shots are plenty strong, but adding in the AoE and all that, just too good. It's just too damn good. Now, I know we're currently using Avenger and Harold and all that, but you really don't have to. This setup is more than strong enough on its own. Hello, Sentience. Oh, okay. They really don't like this, do they? This is such a well-tuned setup. Like, there is no ramp up because we're running Cannonade. We fixed the reload is nice and snappy because of Vendetta, it procs its own vital, it feels great, you have AoE with the Incarnon mode, which also helps with ammo economy, It's perfect. So here's the final build for the Incarnon Strun Prime. We're running Galvanized Hell for multi-shot, Galvanized Savvy for status chance and condition overload, Toxic Barrage for toxin damage and status chance, Critical Deceleration and Primed Ravage for crit chance and damage, and the negative fire rate from Critical Deceleration is then negated by Shotgun Cannonade, so we just get the positive crit bonus. Following that, we have Primed Charge Shell for a ton of electricity damage, Frigid Blast for code and status chance, with the code being combined with the toxin from Toxic Barrage to give us vital damage, and we top it all off with Shotgun Cannonade, which locks our fire rate at 3.33, gives us a ton of damage and a bunch of punch through. Now, while we are running Galvanized Acceleration in the Exiles, you really don't need it. The base range or the fall off on the Strun Prime is very good, and we're also running Shotgun Vendetta as our arcade of choice, which requires us to every now and then kill an enemy that's within 5 meters of us. So you can absolutely save yourself some forma and even the Exiles adapter and just leave it empty. Now, we were running Arcane Avenger to get some extra crit chance, but there was just a nice little cherry on top. The build is strong enough on its own, so you really don't need this. You also don't necessarily need a priming pad because the weapon procs its own vital, though a priming pad, especially one that can strip armor, is always gonna be good. You're gonna get more status effects for condition overload, and it allows you to do full damage on your first shot. I am extremely happy with the result here. I thought this was just gonna be a fun little video where we play around with the accessibility option, and that's gonna be pretty much that. You know, we maybe put some fire rate on the weapons and ooh, look at that, it's funny. But no, this actually ended up being one of the best setups that we've done in a while. So if you've not tried the Strun Prime, especially with the new accessibility option, which allows you to essentially use it with a full auto trigger, I would highly recommend you give it a shot. But I would also recommend you give other semi-automatic weapons, especially ones with high fire rate, a shot as well, because this new accessibility option, as I've mentioned at the beginning of the video, allows you to fire them at full fire rate. I think shotguns, AoE weapons, explosive weapons are gonna be your best bet here, because something like the Veld, which we covered in the previous video, yes, you can use it, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult to utilize properly because you ideally want to go for headshots. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, just try whatever. And if it doesn't feel great, just add a bit of fire rate, if you're not running a Cannonade setup, that is. But anyway, that is pretty much all I wanted to say, so I thank you very much for watching, as always guys, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have any suggestions for the series, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, no matter how silly they are. I love the silly ones, especially. And finally, I would also like to extend a special thank you to all the channel members. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate your support. It means a lot to me. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.